I waited a bit longer because I wanted to read the baseball scene, hoping that would be more interesting. It wasn't really.
Oh, you know what, darling? Give us a break, we're doing all we can.
I'm stressed. We're reading Midnight Sun in this vlog. This is the Midnight Sun reading vlog.
Stop! It's actually painful to watch. But let's go.
I think it's important that we discuss, firstly, that like Twilight was my everything. Twilight was my childhood obsession. I would watch the films over and over again. I'm very excited to read Midnight Sun, and my package has just arrived. One thing that I really want to emphasize before we get into this video is that I strongly believe that if you are purchasing Midnight Sun, you need to stay aware of the issues with the series, particularly the Quileute tribe, and Indigenous voices and own voices of the tribe often say that they are grossly misrepresented in the book and they received no compensation for their likeness being used. And so I am strongly in the belief that if you are purchasing Midnight Sun, you should match your donation to them. So I will leave a link down below where you can donate to them. They're trying to move to higher land because of flooding and stuff like that. And also, like, donating to them or matching your donation isn't an excuse to feel like, oh, I'm done now. Once I've done that, I can read the book. Like, it's very important, and I'm gonna try on reading this to recognise that misrepresentation in a way that like 9-year-old me couldn't in the original Twilight series. So that is something that I really want you to be aware of when watching this vlog and when reading this book, and I think as a book community we need to keep that discussion going. I'm nervous for this. I'm not sure if I ever reread the books. I think I must have done, but I initially read them when I was like 8 or 9, and I think I read them again when I was maybe about 12, 13. Okay. So it's big.
This is so big. It's mind-boggling.
Everyone hates the cover. I actually quite like the cover. I don't know why I like that. It looks a bit gross and a bit like decaying and death. Oh my god, this book. How many Fuck off. Over 750 pages. Oh my god. Stephanie Meyer. Who do you think you are? Okay, so I got 57 pages into this, which is, are you ready how pitiful that is? And like, I'm kind of bored. Edward's voice as a narrator is very, how do I put this? Male? No, he's very dry, serious, to the point.
I don't want to be a bitch, but you guys are really boring.
Oh. I'm kind of bored. And how long it took me to read those 50 pages is not good, considering this is 750 pages long. So all I've read essentially so far is up to the point where he goes into biology class the second time. So he's met her, done his whole like thing at her scent, gone away, lied in the snow a bit, and come back and spoken to her again. So that's all I've read. A bitch really wanted to kill her. Like, I never realised quite how much he wanted to kill her. And yeah, that was interesting to read about. It is interesting, it's just like, and there was a bit where she said, Stephanie Meyer, but Edward said, every vampire is pale, or every vampire is as light as snow, or something. I can't remember what it was. And you're talking about him and Carlisle. The similarity in our colouring was a product of what we were. Every vampire was corpse pale. So, like, is she just trying to say that every vampire looks like that person, but dead? in their colouring? Or like, is she trying to say that only white people are vampires? Which she has been accused of before. So that did make me like pull a bit of a face. Like, really, Stephanie? What are we doing here? I do like how we're using Edward's ability to mind read. I'm loving that aspect of it. It's really interesting to see how he communicates with his family and how he uses his ability in his everyday. And so I'm enjoying that part of it. But like, almost part of me is wanting one chapter of Bella's perspective in between his chapters. Like, his perspective is just so heavy. It has potential.
Yo, it's not funny. It's really not funny.
I feel like I haven't quite gone into the story yet. Okay, so it's super late and everyone else is asleep, so I need to be quite quiet. 132 pages in, so I haven't gotten as far as I wanted to tonight. Like, I wanted to get at least 200 pages in, but we ain't done that. I don't love it yet. I want to love it so much. I really do. Otherwise, obviously, I wouldn't be making this video. I'm just like not into it, and I just kind of don't want to read it. This boy does not shut up. The whole book is basically just his angsty inner monologue. It's almost like when you're in Bella's perspective, the stalking is not as bad, but when you're in the head of the stalker, not as much fun, surprisingly.
Oh, I'm sorry, but it ain't on. No, it's not on. No.
The long monologues and long ass chapters as well ain't doing it for me. You know? There's aspects that I'm completely loving, and they are the aspects where there is dialogue and like stuff actually happens in the story. The part where Edward is on his own and like wallowing in pity, I'm not really enjoying.
Yeah, you forgot who you are. You forgot, Tammy. You forgot you're fabulous. Don't blame me for that. That's your fucking responsibility.
Use your mouth.
Hopefully once we start getting to the bit where they're like speaking and stuff is actually going on, the inner monologue will be less frequent. That's what I'm hoping. I want to love you.
Why can't you let me love you?
Can't get any worse than what it is. Can it? It can't get any worse. We're at the bottom.
So right now I'm 223 pages in. I just don't think I like being in Edward's head. And listen, my guy has recognised he's a bit stalkery, his vibes aren't 100. His excuse, Edward's, reasoning is that, well, I lived hundreds of years ago and obviously men bullshit is making me cough. And obviously, men treated women differently then, and I just don't know how to act and how to act naturally as like the modern guy. So that means like stalking her.
Oh, Jesus. Gross.
We all kind of just allowed it before, didn't we? But like hearing it from his head, just the obsession with Bella does make me a bit uncomfortable. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't lie. I don't hate it. There's some elements of this we love. Rosalie, we stand. I love seeing more of Alice. Alice is one of my favourite characters in the original series. I'm sure she's like one of everyone's favourite characters, and so seeing the close relationship she has with Edward, I love that element. I love Emmett. We're seeing Emmett rights. Justice for Emmett. Emmett is finally here. He's finally turning up. We're seeing so much of him because him and Edward are actually really close. They go out hunting together. And so I love that element of it. I love the Cullens. I love the scenes with the Cullens. I'm just like not into Edward's inner monologue. Just on and on and on and on and on and on. If I had to rate it based on the first 220 pages, it would be a 3-star. I just don't think I like being in Edward's head. I don't think I want to be there. I'm not here for it. What I'm here for is just like the cute romance, but my guy is a bit scary. I mean, I know that's the point, but I think we have to be careful not to like romanticize some of these and obviously when I read it as like a 9-year-old, you're not going to see the problems necessarily, but I think we have to be careful not to romanticize some of his actions when he is stalkery. He's gaslighting her, he's lying.
Yeah, he's terrible, Your Honor. He's really terrible.
I mean, I know he has no option but to lie. Like, he's not going to meet her and be like, hey, I'm a vampire, straight away. I just need to get in the right vibe. I need to get in the right zone. Also, I feel like this should have come out in the winter. I'm putting on, like, raining sound ASMR rooms stuff. The vibes just aren't summer. Like, we're in a heat wave. I don't want to be reading about forks in a heat wave. I want summer gloomy vibes. Why would you release it in the middle of summer? Makes no marketing sense to me. Anyway, I'm going to go read some more and hopefully I'll come back to you in a more positive mindset.
We were all so happy that day. It's actually hard to even imagine how terrible things would soon become.
It's so hot today, so I suppose it's only fitting I'm reading this book in the fiery pits of hell. I had to take 3 days off of reading this. Like, I just could not take it. I'd reached a point. Today, I've read about 100 pages so far, so I'm on page 333. God help us, how am I not further into this book? I've been reading it all day. What have I been doing? So hot, I actually can't have my hair down. I'm sorry, I have to tie my hair up. I'm really not enjoying it at all. My guy just doesn't know how to shut up. I think I said this last time, but like, why can't he just shut up? Why can't he just shut up? Like, why do we have to have all these internal monologues about every single thing? Just be quiet. To me, this book reeks of self-gratification, of like, you know, Stephanie Meyer being like, well, Twilight was so successful, I can write what I want and they'll eat it up. No, Stephanie, give me an edited book. There's so many chunks, pages I could take out that are irrelevant, that have been said 1,000 times before. Edward loves to go on about the monster inside of him. Something will happen, he'll go into a whole monologue about the monster liked that. The monster growled inside me, reeling as it...
I agree. I've had it. And
you know what I've had?
It.
Stephanie, just because you've been successful doesn't mean you don't have to edit. You know, you take bits out that aren't necessary, that aren't working, that have already been said 100 times. Every page I read, a little bit of childhood me dies inside. Because it was so important, it's killing me a little bit. This is what I was thinking about, right? Everyone always says they find Bella annoying in the first books. I haven't read them recently enough to say whether I did or not. But Bella's chill in this. Bella's cool. Bella's like fucking dope. I love Bella, you know? Edward's annoying. So does Stephanie Meyer just write annoying voices? And is that because she captures the worst of us, or just because like sis makes everyone whose perspective she writes from annoying?
It's a conspiracy theory that I'm actually interested in.
And I don't like it. I don't. It's like a 2-star right now. I just think Stephanie Meyer got a bit too big for her boots and thinks the bitches will buy whatever I write. And I'm like, Stephanie, you're treading... Listen, I didn't even buy this. My mum bought it. You're treading a fine line right now because like, you're problematic as it is. Also, what's making it so painful is I kind of have reservations about doing this vlog in the first place. I don't know whether it's the right thing to be doing. And that's just me being honest. Like, I could easily skirt around the issue and pretend like everything's fine and dandy. Like, I don't like the way that Stephanie Meyer has treated Indigenous groups. And so, like, I already feel iffy about doing this, but like, it was such a big part of my childhood, and we shouldn't just be reading stuff for nostalgia reasons, obviously. I feel a bit better knowing I didn't buy the book, so I didn't give her my coin directly. The fact that she thinks she can put this book out, and it's so long. The only thing I'm excited for it from the baseball scene onwards. I feel like from there, oh my god, I'm so excited for that. But because I know the story of this mostly, you know, obviously there's some scenes where Bella isn't in them that we're getting to see new things, but like, I know what happens. The thing that has to keep me engaged is the writing, and it's not. So it's been a few days and it's gone from being so hot to being like so grey and dreary outside. So at least now I feel like we're in the midnight sun, twilight, vibe, you know, cold, rainy. I've just been fully avoiding this book. I've been reading this for over a week now, and I'm only on page 440. This is not just putting me in a reading slump, this is putting me in a life slump, because every day I'm like, today's gonna be the day I make loads of great progress in Midnight Sun. And then it's not, but it's because I just do unproductive stuff to avoid this. So I'm not even getting the other stuff done that I'm putting off to read this, and I'm not even reading this. So like nothing is working at all. I'm not enjoying it at all. Like I don't think this needed to happen, and for it to be this long, I think I said self-gratifying or something before. That's not what I meant. I meant self-indulgent. It just feels so indulgent. There's good aspects to this, like the mind reading aspect is fun. I'm really enjoying when we spend time with the Cullens. The bit I'm reading right now, we're learning a bit more about like he's telling Bella the order in which they all join the Cullen family. That bit is really interesting. Honestly, Rosalie writes, like, we stan Rosalie, that woman.
She's a businesswoman, a TV star, a host, a producer, an actress, a philanthropist. She's one of the most influential, popular, wealthy women in the world.
So I like those parts of it, however, it's just far too long. I'm gonna finish it in the next 2 days, and then I can be free and hopefully read books I'm actually enjoying. I'm not hating it, but it's not gonna get more than a 3-star, I don't think. Like, it's gonna be a 2 or a 3. So it's obviously the next day. I didn't get quite as much reading done yesterday as I wanted to, but it's okay because we'll just finish the book today. I am now about 570 pages into this, and I waited a bit longer because I wanted to read the baseball scene, you know, the iconic supermassive black hole, the best scene in the first film, hoping that would be more interesting. It wasn't really.
Oh, you know what, darling? Give us a break, we're doing all we can.
It's getting slightly more readable just because the nature of the story is more fast-paced now. Like, we're not just sitting in fucking bedrooms moping about our relationship. Oh my god, it's so stupid. I think I'm just gonna read to the end and then give you my final thoughts rather than checking it again, because like I don't really have many new thoughts. I'm just becoming increasingly annoyed, and I've got the worst headache today at the back of my head, which like means I just don't want to read, but here we are. One more thing is that I don't feel connected to Edward and Bella's relationship at all. Like, they have no chemistry. They are dry as fuck. I hate it. I hate it. I'm so tired by this.
But imagine how tired we are. Imagine how tired we are of it.
Because their relationship moves really quickly in a way. Like, after the whole months of pining, like, within the day, they're like, I love you, you know? And it's just so unbelievable. If this was any other book, I'd be so fuming. And I don't remember it being as bad in the original books, but I suppose I did read them when I was 9, so maybe I just need to be 9 reading this. Yeah, it's still shit. I'm gonna go finish it, and then I'll let you know my final thoughts. It'll probably just be the same as everything I've already said. So it's late, I'm very tired, I look like a mess. I've finally finished Midnight Sun.
I want to know, what does it feel like to be so goddamn ugly?
Thank God. I could actually cry. I'm so relieved that I don't have to read this book anymore. I'm debating between giving this 1 and 2 stars. I think 1 star is too harsh. I'm gonna give it 2 stars, but I hated it. I hated it so much. I hated it. If you loved Twilight and you haven't read this yet, save yourself. Like, just don't do it to yourself. There is no need. You don't need to read this. It's pointless. Why does this book exist? It has no reason to exist. It has no reason to exist. Like, it just should not be a thing, and it should not be this long. It's so self-indulgent. It's so big-headed. It's so ridiculous. It did not need to be this long. When nothing happens, we spend 400, 500 pages pining.
There's nothing wrong with my views or beliefs because I have freedom of speech and everything I'm saying is true.
I will say the added knowledge of the Cullens was the most interesting thing to come out of this, particularly with Jasper in the last part of the book, the ending, the bit I've read since I saw you. Really, really interesting. Stuff revealed that we didn't know before. That was like the main plus to me of this book. It was a pain to read. It was horrible to read. Like, I did not enjoy it one bit. I don't think this was very well written. I don't think it was interesting. Like, you've really got to pull out the stops to entertain me in a story I already know, in which not much happens. Edward was gaslit Bella the whole fucking time. The way he speaks irritates me to my core. It was just shite. And I just don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to acknowledge that I spent a week and a half of my life reading this. I don't want to acknowledge its existence. I'm just gonna like, mind gone, no thoughts. I don't think I will be reading the 2 next Twilight books she's putting out. Like, I just don't think I'm gonna do it. I'm really sad. It's over at least, right? Like, it's done. I wish I had DNF'd it. Like, I did not really get much more enjoyment out of it past page 200, but like, because of the video, I was like, oh my god, I can't DNF. This book did not need to exist. I didn't enjoy it. Not worth your time. I'm gonna wipe this from my memory and just pretend it never happened. Okay? Good. I hope you enjoyed my slow descent into just like heartbreak and devastation. And I hope my next vlog and my next video will be happier ones. But for now, I'm leaving you with me being sad about this book. Okay, it's not the end of the world. I hated it. Let's all just leave Twilight in the past. I will see you very, very soon in another video. Bye.